Ubizo Lungibize engalweni Ngiyokhalela bani nayi iphimbo lami liphindaphinde entabeni Ngithi inyawo zami ngibeleze kulomhlaba nemsini Ngifunana noxolo engalweni
There's a question, and the question is, why does freedom still feel incomplete until the oppressor applauds it? Sawubona to you, sawubona to yours. From one great spirit to another, igama lami uThulani wakwamalevu. Welcome to Ubizo Daily. Today, we enter dangerous territory yet again, not because it is hateful, not because it is divisive, but because it forces brutal honesty. Today we ask, why do so many black people still feel incomplete until they are approved by the very systems that historically oppressed them? Why does success often feel more legitimate when it is recognized by European institutions? And why do some celebrate African excellence only after Western applause arrives? Today, we speak about the religion of validation and how psychological dependency survives long after political oppression changes form. Let's speak about how colonialism was psychological engineering. You see, colonialism did not simply steal land. It reorganized self-worth. It taught generations that whiteness represented civilization, intelligence, beauty, authority, spiritual legitimacy, and economic competence. On the other hand, blackness was positioned as deficiency, primitive, unrefined, incomplete. This was not accidental. It was infrastructure, because people who doubt themselves will seek external approval, and approval becomes control. Let's speak about the need to be accepted. Look carefully. Many still measure success by proximity to white institutions, white schools, white neighborhoods, white corporate spaces, white media recognition, white consumer markets, white cultural approval. And when those spaces reject us, some feel personally diminished. Why? Because many were trained to believe legitimacy lives outside themselves, and that is psychological colonization. Let's speak about the performance of respectability. Many people exhaust themselves trying to appear acceptable, changing language, changing accents, changing names, changing appearance, hiding spirituality, minimizing culture, and making themselves digestible, safe, non-threatening. And often this performance is rewarded, but at what cost? If acceptance requires the erasure of your authenticity, that is not acceptance. That is assimilation. And whilst we're here, let's speak about internalized inferiority. This is where the work becomes personal. Many communities unconsciously reinforce this system, celebrating foreign product over local excellence, trusting external expertise over indigenous wisdom, treating African solutions as inferior, waiting for outside approval before believing in our own brilliance. This is what Ubabu Steve Biko warned us about, that the oppressor becomes most powerful when they no longer need to be present in the room. Let's speak about, just before we close, freedom requiring internal authority. Great spirit, real freedom begins when you stop asking systems built without you to validate your humanity, your beauty, your intelligence, your spirituality, your ideas, your leadership. This does not mean rejecting collaboration. It means rejecting dependency. You must become capable of recognizing your own value before the world does. And as we close, let's speak about building without permission. The future belongs to those willing to build without applause, us. Those willing to create schools, build media platforms, protect indigenous knowledge, invest locally, those trusting on African scholarship, those supporting African businesses. The future belongs to those celebrating African beauty. Therefore, I say, Raise children who do not beg the world for permission to exist fully, because true liberation begins when validation is no longer outsourced. So today, ask yourself, where are you still seeking approval? From systems that were never designed to affirm your full humanity? And what would your life look like if you fully withdrew rather your need for external validation? Because psychological freedom begins the day your self-worth becomes sovereign, and sovereign people cannot be controlled through approval. Until next time, okuhle, umusa, kanye nokukhanya ekuhambeni kwakho. Light, mercy, and blessings on your path. Ubizo Daily. The call continues.